Hello, everyone. Back in February of 2020, the congregation asked us to take a look at what it would be like to become an affirming congregation. And so the A team has been looking at various aspects of the LGBTQ plus community. We've done book studies, we've looked at videos, and we've had some open, honest discussions. And now it's time to roll out our findings to the congregation and engage everyone in the discussion. So I invite everyone to join us on either Tuesday nights or Wednesday afternoons commencing the 12th of October for those discussions. We plan to go through Advent, looking at every aspect of what it would look like to becoming an affirming community. Colleen Robarts is going to send out information shortly about how you can register, because we need your name and contact information to send you the appropriate material for each lesson. So looking forward to seeing you on Zoom soon to talk about affirming. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to worship here at Central United Church. Today is a very special day for us in our worship time together. We have two special guests, Chantal and Cheryle, who will be leading us through our worship time, two beautiful Indigenous women who will offer us story, song, and drumming. We look forward to hearing all that they will offer to us and especially to you this morning. Thursday, September 30th, is the day that has been set aside for commemorating the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, a day for us to pause and reflect on our history surrounding residential schools and surrounding our relationship with our Indigenous peoples. Today's worship service prepares us for that day, Thursday, September 30th. Welcome into the sacred circle of our worship service this morning.
Tanse. Okay. Welcome. Bozu. My name is Chagnon-Greyeyes. In Cree, it means Nanantwe Esquire Yaku Kaukimute. I am healing woman who walks far.
My name is Chantal Chagnon. In Cree, my name is she who sings and dances with spirits in a storm. In Blackfoot, I've been gifted the name Red Singer because there's not a word for pink in Blackfoot.
We hail from Treaty 6, Saskatchewan, Muskeg Cree Nation.
But we reside here in Treaty 7 territory. This area was known as Mokinstis, which literally means elbow in Blackfoot. It was a place where the Elbow River and the Bow River come together. It's a confluence that brought people together for miles and miles and miles around to trade, to learn from each other, to grow together, to have ceremony together, and to build community in a meaningful way. When we were able to share at events like this, that spirit of Mokinstis, that spirit of community, is alive and well within each and every one of us. And so we'd like to acknowledge the land upon which we stand and the families who have been here for time immemorial. The Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Bagani. The Sarsi Dene, also known as the Beaver people, from Tsutsina, and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bears Paw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, and I honor the fact that I am Métis to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. When we acknowledge the land, we're actually acknowledging far more than that. We're acknowledging the stories that are steeped into this land, the families that have been here for thousands upon thousands of generations, the ceremonies that are continuously practiced here in this land. But we also acknowledge the relationship that we have with each other and with the land itself. Within that relationship, it is also a responsibility to learn from the past, to be able to create a better world for all of our future generations. To welcome everyone into the circle today, we'd like to share with you Miyazu, the Cree welcome song. Traditionally, when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4, under the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But this song is a little bit different. We actually sing it in rounds of 3, and that's to keep the circle open and welcoming so everyone completes the circle today. Because in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences. Because if everybody was exactly the same, the world would be incredibly boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need those differences to be able to welcome everybody into the circle, to be able to appreciate everyone as individuals, but also as part of our community. Because each voice makes our community resilient and strong. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to agree 100% of the time, but when we come together and find those compromises, that's truly what makes our community strong and resilient. Miyazu, which is the Cree welcome song. It is from the Nakahau family, from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, which is on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. And when we sing this song, we honor the Nakahau family for carrying this song forward, because for so many generations, we weren't able to. We weren't able to share our languages, to share our songs, to share our stories, to practice our ceremony, to even wear our regalia, which is what we are wearing now. A regalia is not a costume, because costumes are for Halloween, and I was a superhero for Halloween. But it's a story of who we are. It's a story of our families and our nations and the teachings that we carry with us. As women, our ribbon skirts are the story of the connection that we have to Mother Earth and the sacred feminine that resides within each and every one of us. And so we are so proud to be able to share these songs, to be able to bring them forward in a good way, and to be able to step in our footsteps of our ancestors as we have always been meant to. Miyazu, which is the Cree welcome song, it calls in all of our ancestors. And it doesn't just mean welcome, it also means beautiful. Miyazu, Miyazu, Hota
Miyasin, Miyasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Yiwagoagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miyasin, Miyasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwanumaga, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino.
Hi, and welcome to the circle today.
Today, we gather together in worship, using the medicine wheel of the Indigenous peoples as a reminder that we come together from the four corners of the world, the four directions. We come from the north with the color of white to remind us of air, stars, death, winter, white-skinned people, and the beautiful fragrance of sweetgrass. We come from the east with the color of yellow to remind us of fire, sun, dawn, spring, growth, yellow-skinned people, and the pungent odor of tobacco. We come from the south with the color of red to remind us of water, moon, birth, summer, red-skinned people, and the comforting aroma of cedar. We come from the west with the color of black to remind us of the earth, dusk, autumn, black-skinned people, and the scent of sage in the air. We are the peoples of the earth, come to this place to worship the Creator and to remind us of the wonder of God's beautiful tapestry of creation.
As we seek to walk a path of reconciliation with the Indigenous peoples of our land, we recommit ourselves to truth and reconciliation. Help us to bear the hard truth that our past actions have profoundly impacted the Indigenous peoples of Canada. The calls to action as outlined by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission are indeed the calls of Christ to heal the wounds inflicted on Indigenous peoples during the era of residential schools. Christ calls us to live in a new way, listening, lamenting, and learning. As we light our Christ candle this morning, we are reminded that Jesus walked a path of reconciliation, commanding us always to love our neighbor. Today, we recommit ourselves to doing just that. And in addition this morning, I wish to light candles for the over 6,000 children whose unmarked graves are now being revealed to us. 6,000 and more children who never made their way back home. May we be reminded of the love of Christ for all of the world's children. Amen.
God of all peoples, in all times and places, your creation sings your praise. Your Spirit emboldens our hearts and hands to build the world according to your will. We confess our brokenness to you today. Today, we seek to hear the cries of those who are suffering. We acknowledge the truths that have made us uncomfortable. We lament our residential school legacy that continues to echo across the land. Reconciling God, you call us to gentleness, to compassion, to learning to walk in new ways. May our hearts be open to those new ways as we worship you today. Amen.
Danse, I would like to share with you the Cree story of the raven. So this story emanates a long, long, long time ago, back before us, the two-leggeds, came to roam the earth, when all of the animals and plants had to learn different lessons for them to share with us. And the raven looked very different indeed, because he hadn't quite learned his lessons yet. He had beautiful rainbow feathers, so no matter which way you looked at him, he shone a different color of the rainbow, very iridescent. But because of this, he started to catch his reflection in puddles, in ponds, in streams, in the river, and then he started to think, wow, I am gorgeous. I am so beautiful and fabulous and wonderful and amazing. I must be the best animal. And so he started to get a little full of himself. And because he was getting a little full of himself, he started to tell all of the other animals, everyone, have you seen how beautiful and amazing and gorgeous and fabulous I am? Obviously, I am the best animal. And all of the animals said, well, no, Raven, we all have different things to learn and different things that we get to share with the two-leggeds. And so we all have gifts and we're very special in our own way. And the raven said, except for me, because obviously I'm the most special, and Creator must love me the most, because look at me. I'm smart and beautiful and I can fly. So, guys, you shouldn't even try. And so all of the animals thought, well, if Raven was the best animal, maybe they shouldn't try. And so they stopped doing what made them special. They stopped doing what made them amazing. And the whole world just started to fall apart. The pollinators stopped pollinating. All of the animals that clean the earth and all of the insects that clean the earth stopped cleaning. And so it was just a mess. The whole world started falling apart. And the bear, who keeps everything in balance, she came out of her den and was like, whoa, wait a second. What is happening here? Why is the world falling apart? So she lumbered over and she asked, Beaver, what is going on with the world? Everything's falling apart. And the beaver said, well, Raven said that none of us were special. And so we thought, if we weren't special, why should we even try? And the bear looked around and said, well, that's ridiculous. We're all amazing in our own way. We know that. The Creator told us that. But look around. If we don't do what makes us amazing, if we don't do what makes us special, and that gift that we have to give community, the whole world falls apart. The beaver looked around and said, oh my goodness. Bear, you're right. Yes, I think we're going to get back to doing what we love and what makes us special and what makes us amazing, because that's what helps the world. But Bear, you have to go talk to Raven because he's making everybody feel bad. And the bear agreed. She would go talk to Raven. But on her path, she made sure that everyone got back to doing what made them amazing, and the whole world sprung back to life. By the time the bear had lumbered over to the raven was, of course, looking at himself again in a puddle, thinking about how gorgeous he was. And he said, oh, hi, Bear. Have you come to look at how glorious I am? And the bear said, no, Raven, I'm here to talk to you. You're making everybody feel bad. And you're being very kind to people. I heard you telling everybody you're the best. And the raven said, well, it's because I am the best. I mean, look at me. I'm gorgeous and fabulous and rainbow and shiny and... Bear, I'm obviously the best animal in the world. And the bear said, well, no, Raven, we're all equal. We all have different things that we get to share with the two-leggeds. And the raven said, except for me, because obviously they're just going to look at me and think, wow, I should be that glorious someday. And the bear said, "That's ridiculous, Raven. Nobody's greater or less than anyone else." And the Raven said, "Except for me, because obviously I'm the best." And the bear said, "No, you're not." And the Raven said, "Yes, I am." The bear said, "No, you're not." And the Raven said, "Yes, I am." And this went back and forth for a while until finally the bear got frustrated and said, "Okay, Raven, if you're the best animal, why don't you go and catch the sun?" And the Raven, who wasn't thinking straight, because he was too busy thinking about how amazing and how obviously he was the best animal, he was determined to prove that he was the best animal, and he said, "Yeah, of course I can catch the sun. I am the best animal, so I can catch the sun." So without thinking, he started to fly higher and higher and higher. And as he started to get closer to the sun, it got a little bit warmer and warmer and warmer. But the Raven was determined to prove that he was the best, so he flew higher and higher. And his feathers started to smoke a little bit. That was a little awkward. But he kept flying higher and higher and higher until his feathers burst into flames, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm on fire!" And then he patted all of his feathers out. He crashed into the ocean, which put out the fire, and he swam to the shore. And as he pulled himself out of the ocean, he looked down, and oh no, his feathers, they weren't rainbow anymore. They were completely singed, totally burnt. He was mad. How could the bear play such a trick on him? And so the Raven started marching angrily over to the bear. Well, the Raven's a bird, so he started hopping angrily over to the bear. And on his path, he passed all of the animals that he had made feel bad. And he watched as the creepy crawlies and the swimmers and the four-leggeds and everyone just was doing amazing things. He watched as he heard this really loud sound, and he watched as the woodpecker pecked deep into the bark of a tree and pulled out these bugs that were causing that tree harm. He thought, wow, that's pretty special. And then he looked down and he saw the ants working together to push huge amounts of garbage and debris out of the way. And he thought, wow, that's amazing. You guys are so strong and wow, so powerful. That's really special. And then as he continued to walk, he heard a buzzing, and he saw as the wasps were cleaning up all of this dead leaves and debris and creating beautiful masterpieces. Wow, that's amazing too. You're so special. And then he watched as the pollinators went from flower to flower to flower and created all of these beautiful plants and vegetables. He thought, wow, that's really special. You're all amazing. And he heard as the bee was making honey, and he got to taste some. He thought, this is really delicious and special. And by the time he made his way to the bear, he passed all of these incredible animals that were doing amazing things. And he felt bad. He felt bad that he made everyone feel awful, feel like they weren't special. And then he looked down at his feathers, and he now knew what it felt like to not feel special. And so he apologized. He apologized to all of the animals, all of the crawlers, all of the swimmers, all of the flyers, everyone that he passed along his way for making them feel like they were less than amazing. And by the time he got to the bear, he wasn't angry anymore. He was sad, and he felt awful. He said, "Bear, I'm so sorry I made everybody feel like they were less than amazing. Bear, everybody's incredible and special in their own way. You were right. But Bear, now look at me. I'm not special at all." And the bear said, "No, Raven, you're very special indeed, because you learned an amazing lesson that you get to give to the two-leggeds. You learned about humility. You learned that we're not greater or less than anyone else, but everybody has a place in the circle. We are all connected. And you learned that firsthand, Raven." And the Raven thought about it for a minute. Humility. I guess I was being a little egotistical. I definitely needed to be humble. And then he thought about the lesson that he had learned. And he thought about the way he learned it. And he thought, he was just silly. He knew no animal could catch the sun. And so he started to laugh, because he thought that was actually a pretty good trick that the bear played on him. As he started to laugh, his voice came out for the first time. Ah, 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 ah. And he said, you know what? You're right there. Humility. I'm going to teach all of the plants, and all of the animals, and the two-leggeds, and the four-leggeds, and the crawlers, and the swimmers, and the flyers. I'm going to teach everybody about humility by playing tricks on them. And so from that moment forward, the raven became the trickster. But still to this day, when we look at the raven's feathers, there's a little shimmer of rainbow in them to remind him to stay humble. And that is the raven story. And this is the raven song. So within the raven song, it's about honoring each other's voices. So we sing together. And then it's about letting out our happy sound, not taking ourselves too seriously. And then it's a call and response, and we're acknowledging each other in the circle. So this is the raven song.
September 30th has been recognized nationally across Canada as Reconciliation Day. And it is to honor the findings of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was done and came up with 94 recommendations into how we can improve Canada and its relationship with its Indigenous and non-Indigenous people.
They are more than recommendations. They are calls to action, declaring the 30th as the National Truth and Reconciliation Day was part of those calls to action. It is a day that we can reflect and honor and really see where we are standing, how far we've come, and how much further we have to go together.
We honor the day by wearing orange, and there's a reason why we wear an orange shirt. A young girl was going to residential school for her first time. She was very excited. A little girl by the name of Phyllis Webstad, and she wanted to look good for her first day at school. So she and her grandmother went shopping, and she bought a beautiful orange top to wear on her first day of school, and she was so proud of this beautiful orange top that she had on. But when she got to the school and was left there by her grandmother, it wasn't what she expected. Her orange shirt was taken away. Her hair was cut, and she was forced to wear the garments of all the other residential school children. This broke her heart and really instilled in her a lot of fear and uncertainty in her time while she was at the school. She survived her experience at residential school, an experience filled with abuse, physical, mental, emotional, sexual abuse, anger, hurt at the hands of her teachers, of those that were supposed to be there to protect the children, and it didn't happen. Now, the shirt has come to symbolize the strength and the resilience of the survivors, and also to honor the spirit of those who never made it home.
The shirt has actually become more of a symbol of unity, of connection. And now, as more grim discoveries have been unearthed, it's become a symbol of strength, of coming together as a community to honor each other's healing, each other's stories, and that knowledge going forward. A lot of people wonder why cutting someone's hair is significant in Indigenous culture. Our hair is a symbol of our strength. It's a symbol of our spirit. It's a symbol of our connection. It continues to grow long after we are gone. But when we went to residential school and our hair was cut, it is a symbol of loss when we cut our hair. We cut our hair if we've had a loss in our family. Someone close to us has passed away. And so we were wondering, what is that sense of loss? And as we experienced this untold amount of horrors that little children had to go through and experience on a daily basis, they understood what that sense of loss truly was. By reclaiming the orange shirt and reclaiming our stories, by honoring all of the survivors and all of those children that didn't come home, we are showing that we are working towards a path toward true truth and reconciliation. It is important that we have that truth before the reconciliation, but it's more than that. We need to turn these days now into reconciliation action. We need to take action. We need to step into those roles. We need to step into communities that are outside of our scope and share these stories, because this is a shared history of Canada. It's a dark part of history, but it is the foundation for which Canada is built. So to heal, we have to come together. It can't be a one-way street. It has to be a full circle to bring everyone in together within the community, within our society, and within our hearts and spirits.
It is very much about honoring all our relations. You, I, we, our brothers, sisters, family on this planet, our beautiful Mother Earth. It is about having respect for one another. It is about having respect for what has come before. It is about considering the 7 generations back, how our decisions today, what would our elders think? How will our decisions today impact 7 generations ahead? The children yet to be born, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. It is about taking stock and giving thought to our actions and our choices as we make them each and every day. We are responsible for what we choose to do, what we say, and how we share it in a good way. The 7 sacred teachings of courage, humility and honesty, love, truth, wisdom, respect. These are how we make good decisions and in a good way to help all of our fellow Canadians and all of our relations here on our beautiful planet, our Mother Earth.
It's also about reciprocity. How do we give without just taking? Because if we take and take and take, there'll be nothing left for any of us. So it reminds us of that relationship that we have to have with each other, that we have to give before we receive. Within Indigenous culture, we have protocols. When we approach an elder, when we approach a knowledge keeper, we always offer something to build that relationship before taking. And it's important to honor those relationships. There are many people in our community that we can learn from and grow from. And it's important that we recognize and honor those voices, honor those stories, not feeling rushed when you're listening to it, but actually just spending the time to build those relationships. That is truly the path to healing. A lot of people aren't quite sure where to start when it comes to truth and reconciliation or reconciling action. But the 94 calls to action are a very easy and straightforward guide of how you can actually bring those things into your community, into your churches, into your home, into your schools, into your families. There are easy ways and little steps. And even if we do one call to action a week, within a year and a half, we'll be united as one, which was the true spirit and intention of the treaties. It wasn't to give anything away. It was to honor everyone within the circle. A treaty was a promise. It was a promise to come together, to build community, to learn from each other, and to grow together in a meaningful way for all of our future generations. This day is a moment for us to reflect on where we've been, but also where we hope to be in the future for all of our future generations and all of our relations. Hi, hi. Hi, hi, the witch, and all my relations. To bring people together in a good way, we'd like to share the healing song. Traditionally, when we sing songs, of course, we sing it in rounds of 4. This song, in the 3rd round, we actually stop drumming. In that round, that is the round of healing. It's a round of prayers. It's that moment to quietly reflect on how we can do better, the things that we need in our lives so that we can do better, but the people in our lives that need that healing. And so this song is done as a heartbeat. A heartbeat is a women's beat, it's an honor beat, it's a healing beat, it's a ceremony beat. This song actually used to be a ceremony song. It still is, we still use it in ceremony. But many of our elders have said now is the time where we can come together and heal in a good way. And this song has been an invaluable tool to bring people together for healing. Within the song, within that drum beat, and within yourselves, you'll feel that rhythm. And so ask Creator, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you believe in, that great spirit that surrounds each and every one of us, to come together and bring us together in a good way. Because divisions are diversions, and they don't help anyone. But when we recognize each other as family, that's when we truly see that healing happen. This is the Cree healing song. It's also called the crying song or the wailing song. And if it brings tears, that's a gift, because our tears are nothing to be feared. They are a gift from Creator. They're a gift from our heart and our spirit, and they show that we are invested in each other and in community. We honor our tears as we let them go to the earth. This is the healing song.
Way high, Hey, hey, oh. Way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, way high, oh. Hey, 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 oh. Way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, way high.
Creator, Great Spirit, the ancestors of all the four directions of the medicine wheel, we ask for your guidance today. We ask for your healing today, to bring us together for healing for our mind, for that spirit in the east and that fire that guides us, for grandfather sun that illuminates our path each and every day and reminds us of the hope of a new day. We honor the healing that we need for our physical body, that physical connection that we have to Mother Earth, how she sustains us and nurtures us and helps us grow from a very, very small one until we are independent and are on our own. Creator, please bring in our teachings from Grandmother Moon, the teachings of our emotions, of our heart medicine. The heart needs to heal. All of our hearts need to come together to heal. And we cannot do that when we are apart. We can only do that when we are together in that circle. May our tears be healing and unite us in a good way. May we honor the teachings of the medicine wheel and the teachings of the strong and powerful feminine teachings that guide us in a meaningful way. And Creator, please bless us with that power of spirit, the power of wind, and that sacred breath that we each share. We are breathing the same air as our ancestors that have been shared with the trees and the plants and the animals for generations upon generations, for time immemorial. Every time we take a breath, Creator, remind us of that connection that we share and how we all need to live on this planet together. We are brothers and sisters on this planet. And we honor that sacred breath and that sacred gift that we have to each other of the spirits that have brought us here in a good way together. Hi, hi, Creator.
Hi, hi. Thank you, Creator, for blessings received. Thank you, Mother Earth, for the gifts of your bounty. Thank you to the gifts and the teachings of our four directions, of our ancestors, of the elders. Beloved Creator, we are small and weak. We need your strength, your wisdom, your light to shine on our path, to show us how to put one foot in front of the other on this journey called life. Please keep us safe, sound, happy, and healthy, and bless those that we love, that they may feel our love, even when we're not in their presence. We ask for those who have crossed over to, again, share their love with us in a good way, and help us on our path, on our journey. Thank you, Creator, for blessings received, and let thy will be done. Hey, hi, hi.
And this is the traveling song, so I guide your journey ahead.